Hey, ooh, glad you're here. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna try and have a talk with y'all if I can. I've already tried this twice, and it just, it ain't worked out because it's just something I do whenever I try to start talking. I get scared, and I get scared and I start fucking everything up. I start like talking dumb shit. I just make it fucking so stupid. And don't get to the point. And all I'm doing is hesitating. I guess maybe it's doing, but whatever. There's no time in life. There's no time for hesitating. Uh, man, but these videos, the thing that really just like drives me fucking nuts about it is like, oh, I've got to get over this because it's with music too. I mean, it's almost worse for me to do like a song or video or something, and I really hit on something good because maybe it's just the stage I'm at, and I'll have something so awesome, and then I'll have a lot of shittiness like right after it, and it just makes it totally unacceptable. Just I cannot. The last video that I got on, I just totally said so much dumb stuff. By making threats and everything. That is the dumbest thing ever. But I'm very critical, very critical. So, but I do have a lot of really important stuff that I want to tell y'all. It's so important. I mean, it's life or death. It's life or death. Because the stuff that I found out, it's come to me at the right time. You know, it's life or death in the way that life or death is. It's not life or death in this physical that you might die. I mean, it could be that, but that doesn't mean shit. None of us. That is not relevant to anybody that's talking about it because we're all obviously living. So I mean, death does not become relevant until it happens, and once it happens, there's nothing else to talk about. So you know what I mean? But life is relevant, and like I mean, the stuff that affects our daily life is very important to talk about, and it's very fucking important that we start talking more. I can't stress this enough, and I'm trying to do my part. You know, the past couple of days, or really the past month, it's increasing more and more. But to become and Facebook, there's nothing wrong with Facebook. There's nothing wrong with Facebook, but to just become a community, and I'm talking about spiritually, a community where you are sharing real things and everything, and it can just be anything. I mean, that's the education that we all missed out on, or, you know, some of us, whatever, who cares? But we just felt like we that's the education that we're here to get and have and experience, and that's the support that we all want. You know, what if you had a friend? What if you had friends that you just? I mean, that's what that's what I am. I mean, that's what I have always been. But and I have here, and because I can tell you some of the conversations I've had this week have changed my life. They have changed my life, and I mean, they always should be that. I used to take that stuff for granted, and it was such a to my detriment. I mean, I did not have a clue how important these friends were I had. And I'm talking about my friends, my family too, but more so my friends, because my friends were facing the same things that I was facing, the same immediate, very hot, hardcore edge of the cliff uh, things that were making or breaking me, and yet for so many years I chose to just keep my problems to myself, and I still do this, and it's just I'm totally stopping it because it's not even I'm choosing to trust everybody. I'm just gonna trust everybody, and because oh I'm not losing anymore, but the comparison when you share like when you talk to somebody who is doing the same thing you are, and like what happens energetically is so fucking amazing as far as because whether we like it or not, like we're all we're different, but we're looking at this same thing and experiencing the same topic, the same subject, the same issue, the same vibrational deal. I mean, we're living it, and whoever you're talking to, whoever is in your life is doing the same shit you are. You just have to find that's why they're there. You just have to find out what you have in common, why you're talking. Why are we talking? You know, even like me and my pet fly, like what we have in common. I mean, there's some everything that you see is like you because you see it. But like the people that are in your life, like when you talk, I had this talk with one of my friends, we've been talking about alcohol and stuff. About I'm trying to count how many people that this subject is just. See, there's my pet fly. See? I haven't named him, but she knew I was talking about you, didn't you? What am I supposed to call you, dude? And like, do you even want a name? I don't really care about my name. I forgot what it was anyway. So, I mean, I'll call you James, I guess, because you were like pretty badass the other day. So, I mean, that fits, right? And but trying to see what he do. This is the first time he's like come and got on me like that. He was earlier, but I was like not feeling it because I was trying to uh, do something. So I mean, I'm just gonna let this out. I mean, this is that's what's bugging me right now because I'm wanting to avoid this topic, but it's the alcohol thing. I mean, it's wide open, so I'm just gonna trust y'all. That's what I'm choosing to do. I'm trusting y'all, but it has totally just blew open about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Really, about probably 3, 4 weeks ago. I don't know. And I had laid it to rest. I mean, this summer I faced a lot of emotional difficulty as far as like loneliness and stuff like that, those types of feelings, loneliness and things, and it would creep in in the form that it used to. It's like the crutch or whatever, the alcoholic crutch. Like, let me drink so I can just wallow and feel better in the midst of all this misery and stuff like that. Those are sort of typical ways of describing the alcohol experience from society's points of view. This is real important what I just said, how I'm putting this now. This is how we describe this shit. And it's all bullshit because what it's doing, what's at the heart of that, what's at the like meat of that right there is like it's negative. It's making alcohol negative when those of us who drink it and experience it know full and goddamn well it's not a negative thing. We know we experience it as a negative thing because of the beliefs that everyone has pounded into us since birth. That we look at we have all the pictures of the alcoholic, the society, the alcoholic who, and the evidence, and all the really frustrated and upset people who were just always just talking about how awful alcohol is and all the suffering and yada 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 yada. And they're the ones creating it. They have made it that. And those of us who drink, we contribute as well. We all have collectively made it this. Inherently, it is not any of that. It has some properties, I mean, physical properties, that really don't even have any value either because you can't ever say what it's going to do. It's up to the individual what it's going to do. It's up to the individual who drinks the beer what the fuck it does, because all of us who drink know that. I mean, I've had 10-day periods where I just drank and had no problems, no hangovers, nothing, no even food. I mean, I just drank and felt great and just like rip roaring. Life is good. And then I've had times where I drank a single 12 pack and ran out and was just shaking like a leaf and sick as a dog, and where does all that come from? Not the fucking beer. How do you compare those two things? 10 days drunk, no food and fine, and then 12, 12 beers and run out and sick and shaking and on the verge of a seizure and all that. Is that the beer? Only if you're stupid, you think that. Only if you are really fucking not allowing yourself to be smart do you actually think, which is without being too insulting, everyone in AA. I mean, just reality. You cannot be honestly wanting to take a look at reality, and if you're in AA, you're scared and you're trying to survive, but you cannot be honestly taking a look at things and believe what they say and you have to turn a blind eye to so much to buy into that philosophy, because my experience with just alcohol, just me, if it had been, here's my current assessment of my past, and this is as honest as I can make it, is that had it been just me and alcohol and no society, no government, no family, no teachers, no fucking loved ones, and all their negativity, had it been just me and alcohol, there would have been no problems. Very little. If anything, it would have been a rough hangover. But instead, I had DUIs. I had constant. I got cut off from all resources. all these shitty jobs that I hated anyway, that I couldn't get up early enough to show up to, and all these fucking, family members who I already had turbulent, unhappy relationships with. I just got drunk and would be honest about how I actually felt, and then they would be hurt. Whereas before we were just holding our feelings inside and pretending that things were okay and choking on our feelings in the name of love, choking on our heart in the name of love. That's the way to do it. And Fly is loving this. Look, he's right here. Aren't you, dude? No, I ain't sorry. I'm trying to draw attention to you. So, but and this was it. And so I'm taught, and then you're taught to get sober, and now you're supposed to pretend like all that was your fault. And damn motherfucking well, it wasn't your fault. This is where, if y'all are in AA, if you're talking about being so hardcore and honest, I mean, do you have it in you to be really hardcore and honest and to take a real look at the drinking years and what alcohol really was, and you know and what society really is, because that's the real question. That's the real question here. It's not a we can continue to make this problem an alcohol issue, and you guys can continue to have a 1 in 10 success rate and have your rooms be pretty much crickets. I mean, there's no reason to even be there. There's nobody there, and there's no. It's I need to talk to some people from AA to make contact again, so that I don't like become so negative. But it's hard for me not to. It's hard for me not to be hugely negative, because knowing what I know and being through what I've been through. Because again, it is not an issue where it has anything to do with alcohol. We're talking about society. We're talking about the world that we live in. We're talking about the fucking world. What world is it? What world is it where people feel like they have to drink and that that's a better option? I mean, is this a happy? Is this really a happy world? Is this really like a thing that And I'm just asking you to look at what are the real causes of this? What are the real causes of that? You keep saying, "Oh, it's just you're born and you're just born an alcoholic." We don't get it. We just know that some people are that, and God gave us this program, and it came from a book, and we just don't ask. It just works for 1 out of 10 people. I mean, really. I mean, it's time to move on. It's time to learn a little bit more about the picture and to understand that this is a fucking an issue. It's an issue with the individual, and it's an issue with the world we live in. I mean, it's an issue with no fucking body wants to be born and go to a shitty ass fucking public school for 12 years. Why is nobody saying that? Why is that such a, well, duh, I mean, that's just the way it is. Why is that such a groundbreaking thing? I mean, why is that such a, it, and and college and the fucking jobs and all this shit, and it's all of it's unnatural, and it's a miserable path to walk down. Of course people are going to want to drink. It's the only fun part of it. Yeah. That's all, man. I'm done. I think I'm just going to leave it playing now. But I'm here. Playing. So then you can see I got stuff there, hung up there for a second. Trying to convince. This is something that I really care about, and that is my way of caring. that's my way of caring about people who are going through what I went through. And I hope that it rips apart your program. I do. I mean, I hope that it. I remember how I felt when I quit. Scared. Scared is fucking good. Scared is awesome. Scared should be exciting. That means you're on to something. You should not be spending that much time avoiding death. We don't fucking die. Nobody dies. I'm not getting into this. I'm not a spiritual teacher, and I'm not teaching existence talks. I'm starting to now I feel real bad about this video. I feel real bad about it. Fly, what kind of song you want to hear? That tickles. I can't hardly take that. What about... Oh well, I'm gonna just fucking play one.